Good morning, all. Can you hear me? People can hear me? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning for all.
Morning, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for joining today on this Cisco Firepower Threat Defense and the Firepower Management Center. Oh, yes, audible. Okay. Thank you, Dattatreya. Yeah. Okay. Good. So today we will be talking about the Cisco, that is Firepower Threat Defense and Firepower Management Center. Last week I was talking about something on AWS SysOps Administrator. That is about the cloud certification and cloud services activations and troubleshootings because it is an administrator level. So troubleshooting is also required. Not only just commissioning or implementing the projects or something. So that is about the cloud operating systems and the cloud services activations. Another thing that is related to the cloud. In cloud also we've been installing all these FTDs and FMCs also. So it has been supported on that. So we will talk about today on Firepower Threat Defense and Management Center. This is the next evolution of the ASA. ASA means Adaptive Security Appliance, which has been produced by the Cisco for quite a long time. We've been working on that. Earlier it was a PIX, Cisco PIX was a PIX. It's a normal firewall which will do some inside outside DMZ and other things and all. We can create some policies, access lists and other things will be creating. NATing will do a basic firewall functions. Then later they developed something called the ASA. ASA model numbers were 5505, 5506, something the models came. That has got some more functionalities like we can go for some HA high availability, like active pairs and active standby pairs, and we will be activating the antivirus, spam control, threat defense. No, threat defense has come now. So, like many other things, they were producing it with that, providing with the ASA models. ASA is quite simple to configure that. We can configure it through the CLI or we can configure it through the ASDM. That is a device manager, is the Adaptive Security Device Manager. So for every other version, there was a device manager which is inbuilt within the ASA itself. Once you install it, we can invoke that. After installing that, if you just type that HTTPS and IP address of that management interface, then it will be opening up something on the the browser. You can install it like a small piece of software. We can install it in our own PC. Then we can manage that firewall using the GUI. It's a graphical user interface, firewall installations and other things. We can do everything on this. We can create VPNs, we can create the standby and failovers. We can save the configuration, we can reboot it, shutting down, creating policies, nattings. VPNs we can create with the Cisco routers and other routers, and other firewalls also we can do. That means every other function we can do it through the ASDM itself. That was a quite easier to manage it. Another thing, it doesn't take much memory as well. So that was ASA. ASA 9 point something has come up, like ASA 9 point something, which was the latest version, which we were, I'm working on 971 something, the model number. I guess 914 has come, 913 something has come up on this, in the versions. So then what the Cisco has done, that they tried to, because it was not doing the threat defense like that, means it doesn't do any kind of an IPS or IDS, means intrusion prevention system or intrusion detection systems, and centralized threat defense, like keeping the centralized database for to do to find out the virus databases, ransomwares, spammings and rootkits, and many other things which we talk about in the firewall technologies. Like ransomware is a quite heavier. It is creating a heavy collateral damage in everywhere like that. So those things are like ASA was lacking in that some area on those things. Means it was not able to find out those things. It was only perfectly working for like a side-to-side VPN connections, and we can create some kind of firewalling functions for a company to talk to the internet like that. It was like a middle, like a firewall, something like that. Then they try to upgrade that to the new functionalities which is required for the cyber security features, like cyber security feature, and as well as the WAF, that is called as a web application firewall. That web application firewall requires that the firewall need to be operating from the layer 4 to layer 7. Until that layer 4, we've been working on with the normal ASAs and other all the firewalls as well as it's available in the market now. Layer 4 in the sense layer 3, layer 4. Layer 2 it will be working for working with the MAC addresses. Layer 3 it will look for a IP address source and destinations. And in the layer 4 it will looking for a port and protocols like TCP, UDP ports, and every other functions, every other applications has been categorized with the port numbers itself. So with the port numbers we can able to block that, or we can allow that from set particular source or particular destination when they try to reach or something. So that is a normal, like security policy based firewalls like. But what actually we are looking for, like we look for some kind of a zone-based firewalls, and as well as we look for more of web application, based firewalls. Web application in the sense it should be able to identify the application which is running on the application layer on the layer 7 in OSI model. Applications in the sense HTTPS, or login, SSH, DNS, and in the DNS also people are trying to come into that network and they try to hack our things like it's like a DNS routing something they call it as like. So many other things has been advanced in this cyber level because everybody is connecting to the internet only. Through the internet only we are doing all, even the normal VPNs also we are creating through the VPN creating through the internets. VPN in the sense is SSL VPN, web VPN, site-to-site VPN, remote VPN, any VPN you call it as. That all the VPNs are now constructed on the internet through the internet only. So internet is like the people are like standing there like try to find out that where is the loophole is there to get inside and to hack the internet network and try to get there all the informations and other things, because nowadays all the transactions are happens through the network only. Transaction in the sense money transactions I'm talking. We have a lot of UPIs has come up, universal paying systems like a Paytm, Google Pay, Airtel Money, like so many things has come up, Bharat Beam, something like. And Amazon has got its own like APIs. Jio has got its own APIs. So everybody started paying the money, paying or buying something on the e-commerce sites, and they are paying it through their wallets, UPI wallets. And people are still using that credit card and debit card informations and all. So these are all very much vulnerable things. Like if they capture that numbers through the internet transaction, they can have every other information on this. Every other information is about the transaction which has been made by the user, and they can create a database of that, and they can hack their numbers, CVV number, which we normally say that customer number it is called as like. So it's in the backside of your credit card, you can find the 3-digit numbers. So they can, if they get hold of that number in the sense, they can do any transactions over the internet because, and again, we have some OTPs and other things are coming up. Even mobile phones also can be hacked. Android is so much vulnerable, it can be hacked. So like everything has been nowadays, all the transactions whichever is happening on the daily day-to-day life, it is happening on the internet only, 80%, 85%. Because of this Corona period, people doesn't go out to buy something on the departmental store or something like that. They are not even getting out of their home and they doing something. But how do they survive? Because they need to order everything on online. Everything online nowadays. It's in all the groceries also been sold on online. Previously we were just ordering only the bigger things like the consumer durables and other things. We were doing that. But nowadays the normal groceries also like biscuits and walnuts and other things, badams and other things. All we are ordering everything on the online. So online transactions are, it is not possible for us to stop it anymore. Even though the Corona period has been over, the people are trying to get out of the home in the sense they got used to it by just ordering it through their app or something. It's very easy for them to do that. Every other company is creating that. Even the normal small departmental store people also creating an app, and they ask us to do the app level, through the app only they can order it something like that. So ordering in the sense we just need to pay it. When you are trying to order something like that, you just need to give all the information about yourself, where you stay, what is your address, what's your age, and what's your credit card number, which is your address on this, which place you are in, like what is your phone number, and everything you are giving it voluntarily. So there is like a bounty for the people who are trying to hack our informations on the internet. So we are through the internet only, everything is running. So even though if you're running on a VPN, if it is a weak, if your device is weak, if your device has got some vulnerabilities, fixes and bug fixes are not done on that. So these all informations are floating over the internet like freely, if it is not properly secured or something. So we are in a position that we are very much vulnerable to attack at any time, any moment of the day. Somewhere we'll be getting attacked. For that, so we require a firewall which can protect our individual transactions also. Earlier, we were try go to the company and do some corporate work only on, even though if we coming back to the home and we try to do something on a VPN, it's on a corporate business only we'll be doing that. Means we'll be logging into the corporate server and we'll be, like doing the daily day-to-day project job or something. Now that is also been there, but it's not been like, I cannot say that it's not over, it's over or something, no. But still the transactions are happening from the individuals nowadays. More than the corporate communications, the individual transactions are happening over the websites, e-commerce sites, grocery stores, like many other outlets are happening on this one. So this is the time that the firewall should be in a function to work out with that. Every other information which is being floated on the internet should be protected properly. So how we are going to protect it? What are the precautions we just need to take? What sort of an app we need to install it? This is like individuals, like the individuals knowledge is required for that, but people doesn't know, because many people are having the Android phone, 4,000, 5,000 rupees, they're buying the Android phone and they just try to install every other application which is available on the internet. Apps are also, people, the hackers are producing the apps like exactly the duplicates they are producing it. HDFC, IB, ICICI banks and all, they are producing it. If you give the number, then they will take out all the money from your account. It's very much easier. So this is like individual side of things, but when it comes to that corporate level, means if a bigger supermarket is there, like you just say Big Bazaar, Amazon, Flipkart, something like that, how the incoming connections need to be created with the VPN when they try to do the money transactions, UPI transactions, credit card transactions, and all. That is coming into the application side. So our firewall should be in a well intelligent firewall. It should be able to identify that which is the correct packet which is coming up, which is a vulnerable packet is coming up. So it should be able to differentiate the things between the packets which are coming in, and they try to get hold the informations from our database or something. Even if you try to, surfing it through your, if you try to buy it through your credit card or something like that, it has to be verified with the Visa or the Master. So it should be accessing the Visa and Master credit card databases as well. So your firewall, whichever it has been installed in the Visa and MasterCard central office or something, it should be able to find out that this is a legitimate user is coming up inside. So there are many challenges are there for the network engineers as well as the security engineers to work out with all these things, to find out all the logs and analyzing them and finding out that which went wrong, what all the things has happened on that. So in that arena, this FTD and FMC comes into the picture. Actually speaking of that, this FTD is from the previous company called the SourceFire. The SourceFire is a person, actually he find out that SNORT, SNORT. SNORT systems are quite famous in the firewall industry like that. So we can do some kind of, the monitoring and other things which we can do, that vulnerability attacks and other thing you can find out with that SNORT. The person who invented the SNORT has did this kind of, firepower threat defense and other thing, but Cisco bought that in company and they changed it like that, Cisco Fire Threat Defense and Firepower Management Center. Normally what we do in ASA, we will be installing it in a virtual machines, or like we will be buying the appliance, physical appliance, and we'll install it, and we will manage those things through the ASDM, means application, what is that, device manager we just do, or RP security device manager we do. Same way, Cisco Firepower Threat Defense is the firewall, and it can be managed through the Firepower Management Center. Same concept is same, but what is the difference is that it can do a lot more than our ASA what it can do. That is what. So what are the things are going to be seeing in the Firepower Threat Defense, and how do we configure that Firepower Management Center, and what are the things which require for us? If you would like to try it out, okay, if you are well enough, if you are good enough to buy the equipment and you can try practicing all these things, that's a different issue. It's a very costlier, we cannot go for that. So how do we install it in our own virtual machines like that? So whether it will be supported, virtual machine means like VMware Workstation, or can we go with the KVMs, means Linux KVMs, or can we go it with the VMware Fusion, something like that, or we require a ESXi server is required for this to install it or something. And what all the features are involved on this? So which version we are going to work out with it? How do we install and tune it, all the firewalls, as well as to see all the practices? How do we create the VPNs on this? Like these are all the things which we are going to discuss it today. So Cisco Firepower system, I was trying for this in my own lab. It was pretty easy to install it out, and tuning it, it's becoming hard, you know. And I just went through a lot of, documentations which are available on the Cisco site. Installing an appliance and managing it through the Firepower Management Center in the corporate environment is quite easier because it is like we have every other original equipment which has been delivered to us. So we'll install it with a proper license and hardware and everything. So it's very easy for a cakewalk for us to go with that, all information on that. But when you installing those things in your personal laptop and you try to tune them with the whatever the resources, minimal resources which you have it in your laptop, like 16 GB I have, or we require other 30 GB for that. How many CPUs need to be given for that? How when things doesn't go as expected, how do we troubleshoot this? And what are the ways to get configured on the CLI? Can we go for SSH? Can we initiate? Or we recover only the Firepower Management Center for that? What are the precautions need to be taken on that? How the Windows firewall has to work along with the Cisco Firepower systems? And how much memory that is very important for us, and how much memory is required, how much CPU cycles are going to be there, how many sockets we just need to gather, how many core we need to allocate for this. These are all the challenges which is coming up in the installing the firewall, installing the Firepower Threat Defense in our local laptop, and how we are going to do that one. That we will be seeing that. First of all, we just need to understand the concept of that Firepower Threat Defense and the Firepower Management Center. How do we install it? There are many ways of installing things like if you are having the old in the sense ASA which is running in your company, means like ASA 5506 or 5505, and you would like to upgrade it to the Firepower Threat Defense, it is very much easier. Like there is a if Cisco is giving you the software, you can download that software, Roman software and other software, FX OS is there. We can download that from the Cisco side if you have the proper license with Cisco SmartNet contract or something. We can download that and we can upload it to the normal running ASA. ASA in the sense, which is a running ASA, which is a good running ASA. What we need to do, we need to take a backup of all the configurations as well as the OS which is running on the ASA. Then we can go ahead and upload the things to upgrade the normal ASA to become as a Firepower Threat Defense. It is possible. We can make the upgradation of the ASA, normal ASA, to become a FTD. It is possible. But once you've done that as an FTD, and whatever the functions which we were doing on an ASA, we can still continue with that. But the OS is actually getting changed. The commands are getting changed. The way it is getting configured, the way it's getting the VPN creations, policy creations, NATings, and the management of the entire box, health of the box monitoring, CPU, memory utilization, heat, and other environmental factors like fans and other things. Those things are completely getting changed. It is not the older one which we normally do that. Not the older way we are doing that. We just try to do the ASA always an SSH. Just do the SSH and just run all the commands and find out all these things. So those things is not so easier here because there is a lot of changes has been done. There is a different OS has been upgraded to that. Commands are a little bit different. And the way the modes are getting different on this. Enable is there. Then you can get into the Firepower module on this. Then you can try to find out the commands, find out the things on this, and you can see the network commands on this. Then how will you see the interfaces, IPs, and other things? How do you tune it up? Like how many interfaces which you are going to create that? Which interface is talking to what? What is the management interface? What is the diagnostic interface? There is a two interfaces newly introduced. Management interface, normally we keep it in ASA, but here is one more that is called as a diagnostic interface. Diagnostic interface, management interface. These two interfaces cannot be touched for any other data traffic or something, which can only do. We can use only those things for configuring purposes only. Rest of the things we can use it like a normal inside zone, outside zone, DMZ zone, or any other zone you would like to create that. Accordingly, we can make the more interfaces as well in the virtual machine I'm talking about. But when you are applying, when you are buying an appliance or something like that, accordingly, how many interfaces are going to be there? Physical interface, like around 8 or 10 interfaces coming with that in the normal Firepower Threat Defense box. 4300 so model number is there. So we'll see that all the hardware as well. So that is coming up with that. When you buying the new box like an FTD, you don't need to go for any upgradation or something. You can directly use that as an FTD box only. But I'm talking about the one which we have already, the ASA which is running in our system, because Many of the companies are still running with the ASA 5506 models, and they do not want to buy new equipment, like new box, new appliance for to work with the firepower threat defense. Yeah, what else they do? Rather, they look for upgrading that ASA to become a firepower threat defense. So that we need to follow those actions on this. Actually, mostly destructive only, because we are removing the older OS and we are putting the new OS on this, and it is getting the new facelift. Once it has been upgraded to the firepower threat defense, you will not be able to go back to the previous ASA or something, and you will not be able to manage that ASA with the ASDM anymore. Then we require FMC for that. So the lot of paradigm changes been happened. Like more changes has been done and more new features has been added to that extra. We need to have a proper training for that to work with this ASA. ASA means FTD, I'm saying. So that is what everyone is doing that now. That they will like a one day, like a maintenance window, just need to pick it up, and we just need to redirect that all the traffic towards another firewall or something. If you have many firewalls, one by one we can go for an upgradations. Like we will start with the one lesser policies installed in a firewall. Like we'll go for an upgradation on that. We will try to see that whether it has been properly working on this with the new OS which we are upgrading on this, because we need to do it from the ROM on itself. We cannot just do it with like a flash upgrade or something. It's not possible. We have to do it from the ROM on side, and it takes a lot of time for that, and it has to boot and come back alive. That is more important. And you need to download that image, ROM on image, from the ROM on prompt itself. You don't get many commands which will be working on that. That is actually completely syntax based things and all. You just need to type it as it is. Like it doesn't predict you the things. It doesn't auto complete the commands or something. So many challenges are there when you come to the upgrading that ASA to the firepower system. So once you've done that everything, you just need to reboot it and make it affect that it should become like an FTD. Then you just see all the interfaces as well, like many interfaces come, diagnosis is made, management has come up, then you start applying the IP addresses to that. So we have to do everything through the console only. Once it has been done, then we will be trying to make up that. I guess there are some tools so that we can convert that to, the previous policies to the FTD understandable, the policies like that we can create that. Else we just need to do it through the manually. Then we will be, managing everything through the FMC. FMC has to be installed. FMC has got its own, the software has to be installed in a VMware ESXi. In that one, we require some certain memory and CPU and other things. The once we installed that, then we will be able to manage that. We can pull up that the firepower threat defense box, means the whole ASA. We just need to discover that it should be available in the same management network or something. It should be powered on. Then we will be giving that. Then we have to do that when the FTD need to talk to the FMC, in the sense we require to give a password for that. And the manager need to be configured on the ASA. Which manager is going to do that? Manager means Firepower Management Center. That IP has to be given already on the in the FTD, as the manager is going to get talking to that, like like we will be adding configure add manager, some IP, then the password Cisco, something like that. You just need to give it. So once you given that and keep it ready, then we will start that Firepower Management Center, and that will go to that device. I'll try to show you that. We'll go to the device on this dashboard, then add the device with giving that same password, and we'll create a policy for that IP address. Will give that. It may take 5 to 10 minutes to identify that. So once it has been identified, in the sense, there is no problem at all. If it is not identifying, then you may have to restart everything. Then you'll have to see that whether the network connectivity is proper. So many challenges are there, because we already upgraded the normal world ASA with the ASA version 9 point something to FTD or something. So then again, we are just trying to integrate that with a Firepower Management Center, which will be giving the proper information about that. Then once it has been identified, then there is no problem. We can configure everything through the FMC only. You don't require to go to the FXOS, or you don't need to go to the CLI or Lena, some other model, some other prompt we will be getting on this. I'll explain you all these things on the slides on this. So like once it has been, like FMC is about that, it is going to be the management center for your entire organization. It is not only for just managing one box or something. No, it is not managing just the one ASA or one FTD or something. We can manage multiple FTDs in your own corporate. Even the FTDs which are there in the remote places, over the internet, we can have the connectivity over there. That is also possible. So we can group them according to the branch offices group and the central office group, or client places where we install it. That we can grouping. It's also possible. Once we made it like a grouping, in the sense applying the policies will be very easier. If it's a similar policy need to be applied to all the interfaces, all the FTDs, in the sense it is very easier for us to do it through the FMC. So centralized management is very much possible by FMC, and we can have multiple FTDs can be managed through that one FMC. If you are managing through the one FMC, in the sense it requires a heavy memory and a CPU cycles has to be there. So we can install it like a software on this, but FMC installation will take at least 1 hour. Yeah, definitely I'm saying that. I would like to underline that. When you try to install that FMC, it will take 1 hour to install it. Complete installation if you like to make it. So once it has been done, then we will be able to manage all the networks and other things. I guess somebody is playing video. It's not required. You can switch off the video. Thank you. It's not required. We are just talking in between. Okay. So FMC is the management center. FTD is going to be the firewall. In the firewall, we'll have multiple interfaces to configure it with the zones based, and every other FTD can be monitored and managed, and it can be upgraded, downgraded, configuration changes, rebooting, restarting, and everything it can be done through the FMC. So let me go to the slides one by one so that you will be getting idea that what all the things are there. Let me go to that. Okay, history of SourceFire. Cisco acquired the SourceFire in 2013. It's only 7 years back. At that time, SourceFire was one of the top leaders in cybersecurity industry for its intrusion detection system, IDS, and intrusion prevention system, and next generation firewall solutions, NGFW. SourceFire IPS was based on SNORT, SNORT, an open source network intrusion detection and prevention system. In fact, Martin Roesch is a creator of SNAT, founded as SourceFire in 2001 actually, he made it. Since acquiring the SourceFire, Cisco has leveraged its technologies on various existing Cisco appliances, such as 5500X series and ISR devices. Cisco also released new hardware platforms such as Firepower 2100 series, 4100 series, 9300 series, which is also implement the SourceFire technologies. Just say it is a SourceFire only. There is nothing changed. But what is the work which has been done in Cisco inside, in the sense they managed to make the normal ASAs to become FTD by upgrading the OS on this. That is the work, only work which they done. They acquired the SourceFire and they took that all the source code of that, Firepower threat defense, another thing. They try to integrate it with the ASA. We can go for an upgradation. Okay, the next slide. Workflow of Firepower system development. This is the person who is sitting like a system analyst, somebody who is sitting on this. And this is the management appliance. Here you can call it as like an FMC. This is an FMC. These are all sensors. Sensor means FTD. FTD1, FTD2, FTD3. And the management applies the policies to the sensors. Sensors send the event back to the management appliance. The person who sits here will be monitoring all this. So this is how we will be doing all this. That's what I was saying, that one FMC can manage multiple FTDs. That is what the idea behind this. So we will sit here as a SOC engineer. We'll be monitoring all these things. This is how the implementation has been done. Evolution of the FTD technology. In 2013, Chase Classic Firepower 7000 series and 8000 series appliances in VMware, and VMware also available. 2014, Firepower services on ASA 5500X. 15, Firepower threat defense on ASA 5500X, 5585, 9300 VMware and Amazon Web Services. It's been made on Amazon also. 2016, Firepower threat defense on Firepower 4100 series. 17 onwards, it's on 2100 series. Till now, it has been continuing. And evolution of a Firepower management center. In if you are using the software version 4.x, that is called as managed through the defense center. If it is a 5.5, in the sense fire site system and fire site management center, FMC. But here we are using the version 6 only. Nowadays we are using the 6.2.3. That's what I installed. That can be done through the Firepower system or Firepower management center. This is what we are doing now. Earlier it was called as a defense center and fire site system center, something like that. Now we are calling it as like a Firepower system and Firepower management center. These are all I took it from the PDF, which is given by Cisco. Firepower system components. What all the components are there in the firepower? Means what all the things, features us we can activate the geolocation database. This is finding out that from where the packet is originating, in which country, in which area, like that we can find out that. Accordingly, we can block that. Vulnerability database, it has always been there. Firepower core software, third-party integrations, SNOT rule, Firepower license, URL filtering, Cisco Cloud. Here we can connect to that and we can download all the virus definitions. Clan AV, that is the signatures, patch and hotfix, SHA lookup, it's an antivirus, something like that it goes on. Security intelligence feed. These are all the things are which are, as a components we can say that we will be seeing one by one on the next coming slides. Software components. Firepower system offers a lot of security features. Unlike with the traditional Cisco ASA firewall software, the security features of the Firepower system were delivered multiple software components. Firepower core software. The core part of the software include SNORT engine for intrusion detection and prevention, a web server for graphical user interface GUI, a database to store the events, firmware of the hardware, and so on. Core software image for the Firepower system depends on hardware platform you are using. Software patches and hotfixes. Cisco releases the software patches periodically to address any security vulnerabilities and fix any defects with the Firepower system. When an issue demands a resolution earlier than scheduled maintenance update, Cisco may release a hotfix for it on case-by-case basis. This they will do. The next one, SNOT SourceFire rules. SNOT engine uses a special rule set to detect and prevent intrusion attempts. Each rule considers certain conditions. When a packet goes through a sensor and matches a condition in the SNOT rule, SNOT engine takes the appropriate action. Vulnerability database. This VDB stores the vulnerability information on the fingerprints of the various applications, services, and operating systems. Firepower system uses the fingerprints to discover the application, service, OS running on a network host. Somebody speaking? Yeah, somebody speaking. What is the mechanism in the firewall which works in backend to execute policy instructions? These are all coming up actually. It is the OS which is handling all this stuff. Okay, geolocation database. GeoDB stores the geographical information and associated IP addresses. For example, when the Firepower system displays an intrusion event in the GUI, you can view the name and flag of the country that originated that intrusion attempt. This information allows you to make decision quickly without performing the reverse lookup for the IP addresses. What we normally do that we will be going to the NS lookup and other like who is another sites are there. We will go and find out that IP from where it is originating previously. Now this GeoDB location database has been there. Geolocation database is there. So Firepower threat defense itself will find out that from which country it is originating by seeing the what is that flag of the country. It will be shown on this. So we don't need to go and search anything on further. We can take the action immediately over that. And the next one, URL filtering database. This is everyone is now started doing nowadays. So every other Palo Alto and Checkpoint also start doing that. Firepower system can categorize websites based on their targeted audiences or business purposes. To give you more granular control, the system enables you to control access to the certain type of website based on its reputation or a known risk level. All this information is stored in a URL filtering database. URL filtering, normally we do that. If you would like to block a social networking sites, Facebook, Twitter, Orkut, Google, something like that, we can stop that. Gaming websites or some other, like gambling sites and other things which we can categorize it as under the sections of the URL filtering, we can block that. Security intelligence feed, Talos. There is a Cisco threat intelligence team that is continuously researching the internet to identify the potentially malicious IP addresses, domain names, and URLs. For Firepower system users, Talos shares the intelligence data through the security intelligence feed. The FMC can download the feed directly from the cloud. For this, we require the proper license for that. And this is a dynamically updating database on this because daily day-to-day operations, Cisco will be doing it with the Talos. That is a brand name they given it. So we will be, our FMC will be connecting to this through the internet and it will be downloading daily the new database, which is vulnerability database, something like that. We will be getting on this. And the next, local malware detection. With malware license, FTD can detect viruses in your files, which is in your inside files or something. This allows you to block a spread of malware across your network. FTD uses a CLAM AV engine, antivirus engine, to analyze the files locally. FMC obtains the signatures of the latest virus through the local malware detection updates. For this also we require a dynamic updates. This we require, this we require, this we require. Everything require a dynamic updates, means in the sense we need to connect to that Cisco centralized database. Our FMC has to have the proper internet connectivity so that it will be start downloading all the latest patches about that. Not only the software patches. It should be identifying about the security intelligence feed from the Talos. It should be identifying the what all the URLs are, vulnerable URLs are there, and it has to identify the malwares and other things. Then the integration. You can imagine, you can integrate firepower system with the various products and technologies. Cisco Identity Services Engine, ICE, you can do. Microsoft Active Directory Server, AD, Event Streamer, and Syslog Server. So these are all like how to, which user is going out and coming inside. You know, like by using that ISC, normally ISCs, the people are doing it, and we can do with the Windows Active Directory also. Checkpoint has got the AD integration, LLM integrations. Palo Alto can do the AD integrations and everything. So if it's Firepower, will also do the same thing. And the next one, hardware platforms that support the FTD hardware. FTD software means, this is what I was telling, that we were having the ASA 5 like 5500X series. This is normally installed in every other corporate environment. We are using this 5506X. And what are the things are supported? Means if you would like to go for an upgradation to the FTD, whatever the ASA which you are having, whether it can go for an upgradation. Yeah, these model numbers can be upgraded. 5506, W, 5508, 5516, 5512, 5515, 25, 45, everything else. You know, like this can be upgraded. And the Firepower 2100 series, if you like to buy the directly at the appliance of the Firepower 2100, we can go for that 2110, 2120, 30, 40, like that. Firepower 4100 series. Why this is the difference? Because we are going to install it in an environment where we require to have that like local and a data center based or ISP based, something like that. We can go for that. So Firepower 4100, this is the 20s, 40, 50s. Firepower 9300 series, this is the highest one, which can be installed in an ISP based environment. And the virtual ESXi vSphere kernel based virtual machine, that is a KVM, and Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure. We can install it in a virtual platform also. Mostly this FTD has been installed in a virtual platform only. AWS people are going for that, but we are doing it through the ESXi vSphere. So we will be getting the same functionalities. There is no doubt about that. You don't need to buy only the hardware to work with an appliance or something, not required. We can buy the virtual also, and with the proper licenses, we will be able to do that. But what is the only challenge is that we need to give that much of a CPU and the memory for to work with that without having any problem, because it is vulnerability databases, Talos, which is updating that, URL filtering has to be done, Snort has to be done, so many other things. So we just need to give some more resources to that particular virtual machine so that we can run that in a virtual platform itself. Then yeah, placement of ASA and Firepower appliances in various networking environment with the different needs. That's what I was saying. 5500 and 2100, we can place it in the branch office to the internet edge. Where we can place that? Yes. AS 5500 and Firepower to the branch office. In our own company, we can give it as an internet edge. And the 4100 series, we can give it an internet edge to the data center. And the 9300 series, 9000 series, we can do it within the service providers. So we need to choose accordingly. The price will also change because it is increasing here. So normally we will go with this one. In our own corporate environment, we'll do with that. When it is you are managing the data centers, in the sense, we can buy this one. If you are in an ISP, you are a high preference guy, then we'll have to buy this one to work with that. So this is how we'll be doing that. And let's go to the next slide. Firepower system virtual on VMware. Virtual environment for Firepower's version 6.1. We are talking about the latest version only. Virtual environment in VMware, we can use it with the ESXi 5.5 and 6.0. You see that. And Amazon Web Services, we can do it with a VPC, and we can make it with an EC2. In an EC2 machine, we can install that virtual. Means FTD can be installed, FMC also can be installed. KVM, we tested it on the Ubuntu boxes. You can test it in the normal Red Hat platform also, not a problem. KV means a kernel virtual machines. So virtually you would like to install it. Virtual appliance you would like to install it. You require a VMware ESXi versions 5.5 and 6.0. If you wanted to install it in Amazon Web Services, you can do it with a VPC and EC2. And you would like to go with the kernel virtual machines in a Linux based environment. It has been tested on Ubuntu 14.4. We can try that. It'll work. To manage the virtual appliance on a VMware ESXi server, you can use vCloud Director, vCenter, vSphere Client, and vSphere Client has got two different variations, that is a web and desktop, both of which are supported by the Firepower virtual appliances. And very important information I would like to tell you: to host a Firepower virtual appliance, you can use VMware ESXi and 6.0, but following solutions are unsupported. You see that. These are unsupported. VMware Workstation not supported. VMware Server not supported. VMware Player not supported. VMware Fusion not supported. Fusion we use it in the macOS platform. So these are all not supported. Even if you try to install it out, some other like you'll be facing the difficulties in activating things and work out with all the apps as well. But actually I installed it in the workstation only. It is somehow it is working. But I don't recommend that you will have to go with a workstation or something. I'm trying for a KVM actually. Else I will be installing it in the ESXi server on this one. So what all the platforms we can install it in the virtual environment? ESXi we require. Amazon we can do that. KVM we can do that, but not in the workstations. It is not possible. Okay, that is what been recommended by the Cisco. I am not recommending anyway. Next, we'll go to that. ESXi versus VI. We are having some kind of tarball. Tarball in the sense it's a zipped file that is called in a Unix format is called tarball. Of a Firepower virtual appliance include the templates for a ESXi or the virtual infrastructure. The key difference between them be the initial setup process, which includes configuring network, setting up a password and admin account and so on. In a VI template deployment, you can configure the initial system settings by using deployment wizard before Firepower virtual software is deployed. In ESXi template, however, you can configure initial settings on the VMware console. Anyway, we can do that. Either you can go for a ESXi model or we can take it as like a VA model, both are same. And VMware installation packages in a tarball like that. Open virtual format, OVF file, virtual machine disk, VMDK file, manifest file, clear text file that stores a SHA1 digest of the OVF and VMDK. VMDK is nothing but a compressed virtual disk. OVF, it's an XML file that stores references to the many elements of the Firepower installation package like that. So what are the logical interfaces we see in ASA? Connected to the Firepower, you just say logical management interface, logical diagnostic interface. So management, these are all the management interfaces. Physically, they can combine as like a logical management interfaces. Here it goes like a BR1. BR means a bridged interface connected to the ASA code. CLI source as a management interface. So then we'll go for inside interface, outside interface, and DMZ interface. Like that, we can keep on creating the multiple interfaces. This is how the logical interfaces are mapped out. Means you just need to understand that management and the diagnostic will be made it like a one interface. Like that, we can go with the management interface. This management interface, through this management interface only, we will be able to identify that FTD in the FMC. That will do that. The next one, these are all the CLI modes, command line interface mode of the FTD, Firepower Threat Defense. There are 3 CLIs while dealing with the FTD deployment. FXOS CLI, we say that FXOS CLI and CLI SH, Lena CLI, and we can go to the expert mode. Sudo su means like a normal Linux prompt or something. Then we will be getting that hash prompt. Then we can do multiple operations on this. Moving between the different say CLIs, FXOS, you will say CLI SH. Connect to FTD, we can type that. And if you'd like to go to that Lena mode, system support diagnostic CLI. And if you like to come out of that, control A+D, then in the FXOS, you'll type exit. So when you are dealing with that the CLI models, you will be getting all these informations. Maybe get confused because of that you are coming from the ASA to the FTD mode. So there are multiple modes of that. It requires a proper practices for which mode is actually giving what sort of a commands or something. But actually speaking about that, we don't do much on the command line on FTD side, because we are going to do everything on the FMC GUI based. It's a wonderful one because we can do everything on the FMC itself. So, but still we should know about CLI modes on something. And next one, licensing is the most important thing. So how do we license our FTD with an FMC? So this is the administrator who is sitting down here, and this is one of the FTD1 and this is the FTD2. They are both connected to the FMC, and the person who is sitting like an administrator. Okay, this administrator is going to that, FMC is connected to the internet, and this is connecting to the authority through the internet. It goes to that Cisco license authority. From this, we will be able to make that Cisco.com license portal. Somebody is pinging. What would be your choice of firewall in Cisco, Checkpoint or Palo Alto? There is no choice as such because I am working on every other platform according to the company, according to the client. I just need to provide the solutions which is looking for that. But everything has been providing the same kind of a solutions nowadays because everyone has to work like in a WAF. WAF in the sense web application firewall. Everyone has to do some kind of analysis on this. Everyone should be giving that URL filtering, and they have to have some centralized threat defense platform or something like that. So everybody is giving the same solutions, but you can just go with that. What is the customer is looking for that, and what is the price range, and how easy for the people to adopt with that new firewall or something. Accordingly, we will be giving that. I am actually from the solution providing platform, so I will not be preferring anything on that. What I say that if the person is worked already in the Cisco environment means it will be easy to get into that FTD and FMC platform. But again, they acquired a new company, they try to make it up something like that. Everything looks so new. So Palo Alto also I'm working on, Checkpoint also I'm working on. What is that? Fortinet also I'm working on. There is no much difference I see on this. So I do not say that what I am going to, what I will be, what I will be preferring on this and all. There is no preferences here like that. So okay, let us come back to that licensing mode. Licensing has been done through the FMC for these firewalls. And what are the licenses are there? We are going to see that. Administrator will be initiating that licensing, logging into the Cisco license.com portal, and it will be connecting to that. This is a model of this. We will see the licensing of the things. Smart licensing architecture. Smart licensing architecture allows you to enable the full functionalities of the FMC and FTD without installing any license for first 90 days. You just see that? We can enjoy that 90 days. I just made it with the 90 days license only now in my FMC. This grace period allows you to complete any logistic or business processes related to your new firepower deployment. Even corporate also we can do 90 days license. In smart licensing architecture, Firepower manages uses a process, Smart Agent, to communicate and register with the Cisco license authority. After successful registration, license authority issues an ID certificate. The Smart Agent processes uses this certificate to communicate with the Cisco license authority from the time to time to track the status of the entitlement, means which are all the features can be activated like that. So Cisco offers two options to connect to the FMC to the license authority depending on security and connectivity policies of your organization. You can either choose connect to Cisco license authority directly over the internet or via the satellite server, something like that. We can have that. So we will be having that 90 days initial deployment license is given so free for us. After the 90 days, we just need to upgrade it to the next level license of the smart licensing. Else, all the functions will be seized, means like it will not work anymore at all. So even in the corporate environment, if you like to try it out, like how the AWS is giving like many services to try it out. Our AWS is restricting so many resources for that we cannot use them heavy duty services or something like that. But Cisco is offering us like a smart licensing, 90 days with a full deployment like that they are giving it. So we can enjoy the benefits of that 90 days. If we like it, how the way it has been operating or something, we can go for a original license and we'll purchase it and we'll put it on our FTD boxes. Okay, next. Firepower deployment in routed mode. There are two modes we can configure that firepower, means FTD can work in a routed mode or it can work in a transparent mode. There are two modes of that. Let me show that. Firepower deployment in a routed mode. You can deploy the device as a default gateway for your network so that host can communicate with the FTD device in order to connect to any different subnet or the internet. In routed mode, FTD performs like a layer 3 hop. It's like a router. Each interface on an FTD device connect to the different subnet. If configured to do so, FTD device can act as a default gateway for any particular subnet, can route the traffic between the different subnets. You see that this is the host is connecting to the next hop, and see, you can see that 192.168 is the range. Here it is a 172 something, and the management network is on a different network, like let's say 10 network. It is connecting to the outside router. This router goes to the internet like this. So this is one of the mode like that we will be connecting through the routed mode like this. Let's see the practical example of this, how it has been working in a routed mode. The end user's LAN is here, right? And they are connecting to the inside interface through the switch. They are connecting to that. In this, both management traffic and the inside users traffic use the inside interface as a default gateway and outside interface. This outside interface, FTD uses a gateway router as a default gateway router, and this connecting to the internet. This router is connected to the internet. So the gateway router uses internet service provider as a default gateway. So another gateway for that. Then through that gateway, we can connect to that, like if FMC is deployed in the remote locations. This way also we can configure that. Means from this FMC is in a remote location. Means if your company is managing the entire customers like that. If you are managing multiple customers FTDs from one FMC or something like that, we can even connect it from our NOC or SOC, means like security operating center. We will keep the FMC in our security operating center. Then from there we will be controlling every other FTDs installed in our client locations or something. That is how. So management interface and inside interface, everything is same over here. The people are connecting to this through this, and they will be coming to that through the gateway router. They'll go to the internet and they surf. Same, we can also get into this by managing all these things from the outside. This is a routed mode. Let's see the transparent mode. In transparent mode, FTP bridges the interface and outside interfaces in a single layer 2 network and remains transparent to the host. When FTD is in a transparent mode, it does not allow you to assign an IP address to the directly connected interface. No IP assigned. You see that? As a result, the hosts are unable to communicate with any connected interface at all. As such, unlike routed mode, you cannot configure connected interface as the default gateway for a host. You can, however, assign an IP address to the bridged virtual interface (BVI) that comes with each bridge group. Bridge group represents unique layer network. And FTD uses the IP address of the BVI when it communicates with the host. Like this. It goes directly to that. You see that both are in same subnet only, 192.168.1. something. So this is the transparent mode. How do we deploy it in a practically? This is a real world deployment. End users and the firepower management interfaces are on the same subnet, and all of them use 192.168.1.30 as their default gateway. You see that 1.10, this is 1.1, and this management interface is 1.2. What is the gateway? 1.30. So everyone is pointing towards this. Even FTD is also pointing towards this. So this is a gateway router. It is connected to the internet. Like this, it's a depend on you, like how do you like to configure it. Either you can go for a routed mode or you can go for a transparent. Next, installing Firepower Management Console FMC. Download the installation file. It will be larger, greater than 1.7 GB from the Cisco site. Extract the file and deploy the OVF. This will take about 5 to 20 minutes, depend on the server. Start the new FMC virtual machine and open a console. This part of installation will take long time, possibly more than 1 hour. Means to come up to the prompt of FMC after the installations, it takes 1 hour for that. We need to wait until. Even though if you're given a proper resources to that, it needs to extract all the information and get it ready the FMC, because FMC is going to manage numbers of quantities of the FTD. So it requires every other resources need to be activated on that. At the command prompt, we will be logged in as an admin, and the default password is admin123 A caps. And configure the network settings by like this. You should be redirected to the after few moments FMC dashboard page. We can take it as like an HTTPS and the IP address. If we give that in any browser, we will be able to log into that FMC. Next, FMC VM performance tips. What are the memories we require for the FMC? 8 GB of RAM and 4 CPUs for the FMC, but this is not optimal level for the best demo performance. CPU, change from 4 virtual sockets, 1 core per socket, and to 4 virtual sockets, 2 cores per socket. change from 8 GB to 16 GB or more. Like, because if you are going to manage more and more of, like FTDs and all like that, we require more power has to be given for this guy. So we require to give some more informations to that. So we see FTD, installation mode, routed and transparent mode. Then we see that FMC installations on this. And that's, I finished my playing my deck. Deck means it's a PPDs like that. So if you have any questions, you can ask me on the chat. And I'm planning to conduct this course in a couple of weeks after, because I just need to prepare all the labs to keep it ready for you people. And it's been started, it's been installed successfully, it is running perfectly. I would like to show you that some other things also in that lab as well. Now I have it in a virtual machine. The FMC also there, FTD is also been there. So the course can be conducted because it is like a normal any other firewalls only. Like Palo Alto offers the same solutions. Checkpoint offers the same solutions, like that we are offering the same solution with the FTD and other things. Sourcefire, actually it is a Sourcefire only. That's why I took this slide as a Sourcefire. Like how is the packet flow mechanism? Packet flow mechanism, I just need to explain it. There is a Lena packet flow mechanism is that there is a very heavier. It cannot be explained in just 10 or 15 minutes. I just need to do a lot of bigger, like many slides. I just need to go through that. At the time of sessions, when you come for that, I will be explaining that how the packet flow is happening inside the FTD, how the zone transfer is happening, how the intelligent threat database has been, contacted for that, how the Lena is operating, how the FXOS CLI is working out. Everything is there. There is a heavy topic actually. So I didn't touch that. I just given you like introductions of the FMC and FMD FTD and the some of the history as well as the software components. Those things I discussed now. I will definitely take the packet flow later. Maybe in the sessions I will be taking that. And moreover, you can contact me on this number for more information about FTD and FMC. And you can WhatsApp me or you can call me. And you can send a mail to me on structured@gmail.com. And you can see this video as well as the coming up next sessions as well. Slides and other things you can find it on this YouTube video. You can subscribe this to my channel. It's a free channel. You can subscribe to that. You can, you can refer it to your friends, relatives, and colleagues and other things, other people. So they can also benefit it by watching my videos on this. And if you have any other questions, please ask me, else I will be showing you the FMC, which I installed you and I logged in already. And I have integrated one FTD to that FMC. I'll show you that what are the settings which we can do on that, what are the menus and options on this, how many interfaces we are configuring on this, like that. So I can show you on this. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask me on this, else I will be showing you that, the original things. So I have installed this. FMC is already operating on this. IP address is 172.16.230.10. That is IP address. I have already logged into that FMC. See this. This is the screen which we normally get that FMC. Your session has expired. You must log into that. I have given the username and password here. Cisco Firepower system. Like that we will be getting this. Let me log into that. This is the FMC console I'm showing you on the browser based. We can configure the FMC through the browser based. Minimal network settings and other things which we can do it through the CLI. After that, we can do everything on FMC on the GUI browser based. It's coming up loading. You can just see that. So here it is an overview, analysis, policies, devices, objects, AMP, and anti-malware protection, that is an AMP, and intelligence. Here the deploying. This is some of the messages which has come. FTD1, deployment devices are successful. And this is a health appliance of the heartbeat. FTD is not sending because I stopped it. I will just act it. AMP for network status cannot connect to the cloud, something like that it's saying. So these are all like a messages which will get it. And this is the dashboard summary data dashboard. IPv4 address is the address which is assigned here. IPv6 address not assigned. Model is a FMC on VMware. It's showing. Software version is a 623, and rule update which is on something like 2017. It's showing. Okay, VDB is a VDB version number. It is showing. Virtual, what is that? Virus database versions. This is a CPU. 4 CPU I have assigned for that. how many percentage of that per CPU has been made on this. And this is the geolocation update. It is unknown. Rule updates, software updates. Somebody is pinging. How you install VM workstation on local PC? How you install VM? We can install it like a VMware workstation. We can have it like a 30 days evaluation license is there. In that one, we can install it. If you have that FTD and FMC virtual machine, the tarball means like a GZ, a zip file, you can unzip it and you can install it on this. That is very easier. And this is like appliance status. Now it is official, sorry, it's a critical something is one, means it's not talking to that device or something. And disable the thermal like that something is saying. These are all the dashboards we see in that. There's a summary dashboard we are seeing. We can see that management dashboard also. Like it will be taking a lot of time because my memory is lesser here. So 16 GB only it is there. So these are all things. Access control, user statistics, application statistics, certification summary, sorry, connection summary, detailed dashboard, file dashboard, everything will be shown. So on this. So analysis, we can go for a content explorer, connections, intrusions, files, malware events, file events, capture files, network file trajectory, malware events. You can just click on this. It will be 0 only because it is nothing. It's been detected as such here. It will go to that. It may take some time. Please wait. So like it is very much surfable, means like you can just keep on going through this and you can find out that you must apply a malware policy with the malware cloud lookup rule. It will be connecting to the rule and it will be uploading that. Like the devices, I can come to the devices on this. In the devices, you can see the device management. How many devices are installed in this FMC? Now it is loading the page data. FTD version 1 has been routed, means it's showing cross, means it is not activated. See that. The FMC is not activated still now. I will activate that now, means switch it on, and I install one of the policy on this one. So in this one, device management, I can go there, I can click on this FTD1, no record to display. It will be coming up the device list. So this is a gigabit Ethernet 0/0. I made like inside zone, outside zone, DMZ zone I created. And this is a diagnostic. We should be leaving it as it is. We should not configure that. I have assigned the IP addresses for this. Every zone has got some. Because I configured this FTD as a routed mode. And inline sets, I can configure that. It's not configured as such. DHCP, I can configure the DHCP for that. Means I can make it as like a DHCP server, this FTD. So the FTD will be providing the, something like that. I can just do that. And the device and routing. Here the routing is possible. In FTD, we can configure the routing of OSPF and BGP and static route. We can do that. EHRP is not provided. EHRP has been completely removed on this. BGP I can configure on this. IPv4 and IPv6 multicast routing I can do. Cannot connect to the cloud FMC. It is saying that dismiss. I can just do dismiss. Interfaces, inline sets, and I can see. NATing I can configure here. There is no policy installed on this. VPN, site-to-site VPN, remote access VPN, troubleshooting. QoS I can configure. Quality of service. Everything is done through the policy only here. New policy I can click and make it. Platform settings. Flex config. And the certificates. What are the certificates are installed on this? Currently, there is no certificate as such. It's going on. Objects, I can create that. Network objects, every other server, every other subnet, every other web server, database servers, and the everything I can create it with an objects here. You see that. Network object, port objects, interfaces, tunnel zone, application filters, VLAN tags, URL, certification, geolocations. Like everything as an object which you can create. Access list I can do it here. Standard and extended. AS path, that is for a BGP. And the policy list, IK1, that is coming under all the VPNs over here. Any connect, that is for VPN connections for the individual users. And group policies, tech support, flux config, radius server group, everything I can configure here. It's possible. AMP, AMP is anti-malware protection. I just need to connect to the cloud. Then I can create the policy for that. Dynamic analysis connections. Nothing is as such, but we just need to do that. Intelligence. I just need to connect to the intelligence cloud of the Cisco so that I can go for intelligent connectivity on this one. Cisco Sandbox API. It's going for that. Let's wait. So this is the status which has come up on this one. So If I activate that FTD, let me see that whether it is starting or something, because I have a less memory which is running on that. So, it will be starting that FTD 6.2.3. That is what running. You see that ASA 992, that is the version which is running on that. It's been upgraded as the FTD version like that. So now it is booting. Should be booting on this. You see that boot flash ASA 992 SMPK 8 thing like this. So it will take time, at least 2 to 3 minutes it will take for a booting. Then it should be the FMC will start detecting it, because I already installed this FTD on the FMC. So once it is booted and ready, and the management interfaces are matching accordingly, means they are in the same subnet. So it is saying that running on VMware, it's saying that. So it is coming up now. It will take the ping MySQL. So it's going on, initializing the objects, killing MySQL D. Fire power threat defense. It is coming up like an Cisco ASA login. I can log in here as an admin and with the password. It's been logged in. It's just say that Cisco Fire Linux OS. That is what it is saying. And a Cisco Firepower Threat Defense for VMware 623. It's like that. So it takes some time. It will be listing the interfaces as well here. So now it is listing all these things. Total NICs found is 13 NICs. So there it is. ID memory nodes, reasons, reserve memory per node. Going on. Takes time. So Cisco login is there. So actually I'm running in the VMware workstation only, but I face some issues, and I will convert this into the VMware ESXi. Not a problem. For this demo, I'm just running on this only. So it's saying the failed login since like this. So this is the prompt which we see that. I can say show interface IP brief. I can type. There is a command is the problem. It's the IP. Actually, I typed it like a OP. IP brief. ERIEF. It will be okay. All the interfaces are shown here. Like so now, if I go back to the FMC, it should be ready. Let me see last update to 2 minutes ago. Let me go to the device and let me see that whether it has detected that FTD or something. Let me see that. Loading the page data. Please wait. Still it is not showing that. It will be coming up. It will be like a green color. It will be showing like something in a green. It takes some time. So this is the device tab. Takes time. Yeah. Yes. Now it's ready. Please wait. It's coming up. See, you can see the time synchronization out of seeing something is saying. Now you just see that name is FTD version 1. I just given it. Transfer the packet yes. Mode is a routed mode. Compliance mode is none. You see that system model is for VMware, FTD for VMware. Serial number is this. Time, this is the time now 12/9 is the 27th June something. Version is 6.2.3. Policy is not installed on this. Advanced bypass, something like that, something is there, bypass threshold. And this is the base. What are the licenses are installed on this? We can activate that as per the FTDs. Base license is there. Export control is no. Malware is yes. Threat defense is there. URL filtering is yes. Any connect we can activate that later. It's not a bigger problem. And what are the licenses are involved in this? It's installed on this. It's showing. Health is status is something showing like this. Click. Status is now ready. It's ready. So let me go to that device again, or I just do that routing info something like that. It should be identifying that, because it takes much time for it to identify that. Routing is coming. Interfaces. So it should be coming as a green color. So then I can say that it is ready. FTD deployment is successful. AMP, time synchronization problem. Okay, anyway, it's this is how we just identify that FTD. We need to install that. If you'd like to add the device, we will be doing it like that. Add the device under the device management section. Click on the device. Then you'll have to give the host IP address and the name and the registration key. That is nothing but a password to talk to the FMC and FTD. And the group, if you like to activate in a group, you can do that. Access control, and you can activate that licensing, smart licensing over here. So I activated that 90-day smart licensing here, so I can do it with this one. So then once you fill up all these things, then you can click register. It take at least 5 to 10 minutes for to get running on this one. Like, so this is about that admin user preferences. We can go for many things we can configure on this one. So I just need to go to that objects and as well, so I can create all these things on this. Okay, so I have shown you a couple of things on this one, and if you have any questions, you can ask me on this platform. Can you share please the link to download the software? Which software you want? Jayant, which software you are looking for? FTD. FTD, you have to download it from the Cisco only. I cannot provide the software link and all. That is actually wrong. You can download it from the Cisco site. In the Cisco site, yeah, both you can download it from the virtual version. You can download it with the proper Cisco login. You can download that. Then OA files, which you can download that. OA file means it's a open virtualization appliance like that. Then you can integrate it with your ESXi server for that. So you just need to have the Cisco license, proper license copy. You to log into that site or something. Then you can able to get that software. You can download it and you can install it. You don't require any license because we are activated that 90 days license is the system. Is just see licenses, smart license. You can just see that FTD license. You see that Cisco smart licenses. It has been activated. It's getting activated now. See this smart licenses register. It's already there. Evaluation period 84 days. 6 days before I activated that. Evaluation mode. Currently it's assigned in an evaluation mode. User usage authorization is not available. And what all the things are activated? Firepower management service, base is activated, and malware is activated, threat is activated, URL filtering is activated. Any connect Apex. If you want, I can activate that. It's not an issue. So these are all a smart licensing. We require to register this. My license manager, it will take me to the software, like Cisco site, it will take me. But actually, I already registered that. So we require to log into that Cisco site to activate all these things. So I cannot provide you that software. It is actually illegal. I cannot give that. And you can get it from the Cisco site. You can download that. If you have the reseller login or some kind of SmartNet login or something, you can get that software. So any other questions from anyone? Let me go for like shutting down this device. Otherwise, it will be too much memory for mine. It will be eating a lot of memory for mine in the PC. So let me shut down this guy also here. I'll have to do it like this. Then only I can do that. Shut down. -H. Yeah, it is shutting down now. Because memory is very lesser. I'm running already the online, like the Zoom is also taking a lot of memory for that. So this is about that. So you can talk to me on this number anytime. And if you have any other questions on this, currently we are managing policy via ASA. If I enable the firepower module in ASA box and directed traffic to the firepower module with the policy restriction sticks via ASA or firepower, it will be taking through the firepower only. If you are activating that, if you are upgraded that firepower in the sense, it should be on the firepower only. That's what I just seen that. I can just say that. But actually once you upgrade that firepower, better to use that firepower only because it has got some more features activated on that. And we have more features as well as it's got more functionalities than the normal previous ASA something. That's possible. And if you have any other questions, please ask me. I am ready to answer that. And moreover, I would like to have your email addresses on the chat. Please provide it so that I will be sending you this PPTs, slides and decks and other things, as well as I'll be giving you the recording software also. Whatever the we discussed today, I'll be sending you this all things to you today. So please give me your email address only. That's enough for me. And yeah, okay. Arvind has given that. Everyone can give it. I see a couple of people are still there. And yeah, everyone can give it. So if you have any further more questions, you can ask me and you can send me the email on this. And please, I'm asking with you guys, like you can subscribe to my YouTube channel to watch the multiple demos as well as the scenario based videos I just made that I already uploaded many things on that. So you can get all these things. And as usual, I would like to request with you guys that you can tell my YouTube channel to your friends and relatives and colleagues to subscribe to that. And so I can also grow, you'll also grow. Okay. So I guess we have all the information has been given by everyone. So if you don't have any further questions on this FTD FMC, or you can even contact me for any other courses as well. Like I used to conduct the AWS and Terraform, Ansible, Python, Cisco, CCNA, CCNP, and Palo Alto, Checkpoint, whatever the courses you're looking for, you can contact me on this. I am able to conduct that. And I used to give some corporate trainings also. If you have any questions, if you have any requirements in your company for corporate sessions, I'm ready to take that. You can inform it to your internal colleagues as well as the managers as well. Thank you very much for joining this session. And you can subscribe to my channel as well. And thanks for the email addresses given to me. So if you don't have any further questions or any other doubts in your mind, I'll be go ahead and close this meeting because we are already discussing for last 1.5 hours, I guess. Thanks for joining again. I am closing this meeting. Thank you very much for everyone joined this meeting today.